Welcome back to another episode of Getting Personal. I'm here today with Andy, also known as HBAR to the Moon on X, founder of both Citadel Wallet and Peculiar Peeps. It's great to have you, man. How's it going, Andy?
Great, Jack. Great to be here. Always wanted to do one of these with you. Finally, we're doing it, and it's the best time to do it. There's a lot of things to talk about, so I'm excited for this.
Yeah, same. Before we get into all of that fun stuff that you are working on, I'd love to get your perspective as an HBAR OG community member and now a founder as well. I'd love to get your pulse on the current state of Hedera. Like, what's your sentiment as we sit here today?
My sentiment with Hedera has always been positive, and that's not something that people like to see. I was just talking to another friend of mine from the community. I have seen so many different things come and go in Hedera community, being there since like 2018, when even end of 2017, when Hedera wasn't even Hedera back then. It wasn't announced publicly. Since then, I have seen so many ups and downs, so many positives and negatives, FUDs coming and going. But over time, if you really zoom out and look at the network and its performance and the applications, everything is going up over time. We have seen more growth from the network side in terms of new services on the network, improvement of performance of the network, more nodes, more governing council members. And then from the community side, more applications have gone live from the retail side, from the enterprise side, even though a lot of people want to see those really high TPS use cases. But when a new use case goes live on their network, it could be even enterprise use case. It doesn't have to do 1,000 TPS right from the get-go. They're trying out things. It's going to start small. There's going to be very few users, and especially enterprise use case internally. They might be limiting the number of transactions to start with, just to test the waters. And it's all good, right? You need to be able to see all of this growth and not be blinded by the market positivity, negativity, the price action. Those are things that are really distractive in Web3. In any other industry, when a startup is starting out their project, they're not public for a long time. So there is no way to pick on these projects in terms of like why the price is not going up. Keep distracting the founders and builders about the price of the coin when they're still in the development and building stage. And if you really think about it, what Hedera is trying to build, it's enormous. It's mind-boggling what they're trying to achieve. Build a trust layer of the internet for the whole world. It's easy to say, but almost impossible to do. It's something that nobody from 1,000 people who say they have a dream like that, almost nobody will be, maybe nobody will be able to achieve it. And here we are, Mans and Lehman have built the network and built it resilient and robust enough that it keeps growing and it keeps attracting more users and applications. And I just see the growth. I try not to get distracted, and instead of getting distracted and pay attention to things that don't matter, I pay attention to things that matter, which is actually building products and services and applications, and also bringing value to the community in other ways as well. That's what I have done for a long time, and now I'm wearing also the entrepreneur hat and building products and applications. So to me, everything is going great. You just need to zoom out. Enterprises are going to go crazy for Hedera, and they're building behind the scenes a lot of amazing things. And I'm really excited to see on the retail side all the excitement going on, all the token-based projects. Hopefully the NFT ecosystem picks up as well. It's been a little dormant and quiet, but with Peculiar Peeps, I'm trying to really bring that positive energy and excitement and attention to the NFT scene as well. So I think things have been going great. Markets will do what they do, but we have control of what we can do, which is building and staying focused on the vision we have.
For sure. And when did you decide to build? Because you started out as a content creator, right? And a supporter of the network. At what
Yeah.
point do you stop and say, okay, I'm gonna actually start building something?
Um, I mean, I was an electrical engineer in training. I'm still an electrical engineer in training. So initially, when starting out, there wasn't much for me to think about what I could build in this ecosystem. Since I'm a hardware guy, I build physical products. Uh, and that wasn't in my mind right from the get go. And then along the way, these new types of products, the hardware wallets, started to popping up here and there. And I also used one of them because security is so important in Web3. You have to secure your accounts, make sure they're unhackable. And a lot of these products were really good and they provided the security, but in terms of user friendliness, how easy it is to use, how easy it is to interact with them, but and overall like aesthetics of the device just didn't seem like this is a product for this age we live in, compared to mobile phones and tablets and all these really advanced mobile and personal devices. Hardware wallets, which are arguably the most personal thing ever, the most personal device ever, because it's going to store all your assets, all the history of your interactions with the network, your identity, all the collectibles, all the art. It's going to be the most personal device ever, and you haven't paid even a slightest attention to the development of the look and the product and aesthetics and the user friendliness. Like there's a lot of potential here. And probably like 2 years into being in Hedera ecosystem, I started to really seriously think about building the hardware wallet. And initially, I was just reaching out to people from Hedera, and because there weren't any low level programming SDKs available for Hedera Network at that time. There were a lot of things that were missing that would be required to develop something like that. On the hardware side, I was confident I can do it, but on the software side, there were things that were lacking. And then over time, as things evolved and became available, that's when a couple of years ago, I was like, now is the time to jump in and start developing behind the scene, coming up with concepts and architectures and designs. And a little more than a year ago, I started to get really loud about the project, and a year ago we did the pre-order, so that's kind of the evolution. And here we are. I have the wallet sitting on my desk.
Look at that.
in,
How does that
in a
feel to have it
slick.
in your hand?
It feels amazing. I mean, I have the wallet literally sitting every corner in my house, so I can see it. I want to keep seeing it and see how it feels to see the device just as a regular device sitting on the desk, as a device that somebody would use on a daily basis. It's slick. It looks great. I love that it's a round shape and it differentiates itself from other rectangular shaped mobile devices that we're used to.
Mm.
It has its unique style, and you're storing a lot of coins in there, so I wanted to have a shape of a coin, be reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
uh, this has been an amazing journey. We have made so much advancements in the developments, and just yesterday I announced that we just kicked off the secure auditing for the firmware on the hardware wallet, and we've been having meetings with the firm who has also audited a lot of other well-known hardware wallets, including Ledger. And they're really confident in our product. They love how clean the code is, how well structured the code is. They're very impressed, and so far they haven't found anything critical or problematic. So if things continue to go this way, within a month we should be done with the secure auditing, and I can't wait to kick off the production of this devices, because everything else is ready. We just need to tie the bow on the firmware, and we're ready to rock and roll in the summertime, when I think the peak bull market and positivity will be there. So it's a great time to deliver the wallet to the market, to Hedera users first.
Yeah, I think that the whole community is looking forward to a hardware wallet to secure their NFTs, right? Because there's so many amazing NFTs on the network, and amazing wallets, but they're not cold wallets. So I think a native Hedera wallet where we can secure our tokens and NFTs is going to be exciting for the whole ecosystem. for sure. But
Absolutely, and it's complementary to all the wallets that exist in the ecosystem. We're not building our own software wallet, so Hashpack and Kabila wallet, who have already their user base, there's the people who are using it on a daily basis and they're used to the UI and how they interact with the wallet. They will be able to continue doing that. Just add
amazing.
this extra device to add that extra layer of security to your experiences.
Yeah. So Citadel wallet is a hardware wallet, but there's also other products, other things that you've been building under that umbrella, right? You like to delve into some of
Yeah,
that as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Initially, we started as just a hardware wallet, and then with
Why is
through
that
I like to, I really like to just dive into things, and I get into so many details. I go down the rabbit hole so much that I start coming up with too many ideas, and sometimes I need to calm myself down and then like, hey, slow down. You can do this 1,000 things, but all of them are exciting, but you have to go one by one. And I just started working on some of the ideas that were like the low hanging fruit per se, and one of them was the card wallet. Card wallet is not too different from a hardware wallet, and this is a question that has come up in the past, and people have compared the hardware wallet with card wallets. The main difference between these two is both of them have the similarity is that both of them have that really secure, tamper-proof, secure element which stores your private keys, and nobody can hack into it and steal your keys. So in that sense, they're similar. The difference between the card wallet and the hard wallet is that when you're tapping and signing a transaction with the card wallet, if your mobile device or desktop, wherever you're tapping your card, is compromised and it's sending the transaction to the card that you don't really want to sign, you wouldn't know. You have no way of knowing. Transaction goes to the card, signs it, returns it back. The card is only good for that extra layer of security when nobody can access your private key. But if your mobile device or software application is compromised, then you're kind of screwed there. So it's a step above software wallet. It adds that extra layer of security, which we're building. On the hardware wallet side, you're not only securing the private key and signing the transactions, but you also have an independent device that is able to process the transaction that comes in and display that information in that transaction. So the device itself understands what you're signing, displays that information to you, so you have the final say whether you want to sign or approve that transaction or not. That's the major difference, and hardware wallets provide that highest level of security you need for protecting your accounts. But card wallet, it's great because you can carry it around with you. It's compact. It fits in your wallet along with your other cards. And if you put in like small amount of crypto in that account and you want to use it on a daily basis, make payments, send NFTs, whatever, it's a great use case for those kinds of applications, and it will bring that extra layer of security. Because a lot of times people use their software wallet on the mobile, let's say, and then over time they just feel too comfortable with it and forget about the security aspects of it, even forget about to record their mnemonic phrase, things like that. Having the private keys outside of the phone will be very beneficial, and it will definitely improve the security, but it's not high security. But yeah, the card wallet, we're actually making the prototypes right now for the card wallet. Developments are close to complete for that as well. And we have partnered with Compose Secure, which is probably the highest quality card manufacturer. And it took a long time to get them as a partner for the card manufacturing. All the other vendors I talked to, I wasn't satisfied with the quality of the cards that they're making. These cards are metallic, really high quality, kind of heavy too. So when you hold it in your hand, you can feel like you're holding a premium card. And that has been my approach with everything I develop and design. I just want to make sure it's the highest quality possible. And I'm really happy we secured that partnership. And now they're building the prototypes, which we'll be able to showcase to the community very soon. And hopefully start to deliver some of the cards at the end of this year, because primary focus right now is the hardware wallet itself. We could have probably gotten the card out to the market sooner, but I want to complete the hardware wallet, get it to market, and then focus on delivering the card wallets after that.
Nice. Sound.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Card wallet is one of the products. We also had the cold storage metallic plate, which is a simple a product that we have. And there is one more product that I wish I had announced already. We could talk about that today, but it's coming.
Sure.
The announcement is coming on Thursday. We'll announce that new product on Thursday. But it's a fun, really cool, fun product that's going to elevate how you personalize your hardware wallets, that experience. And I hope people like it.
Amazing. Sounds peep-tastic. Shall we get into some of that good stuff? What's going on with these peculiar little characters that you've brought, that you're bringing to Hedera?
Oh man, haven't they been peculiar?
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. I just love these characters. When we were still in the early concept stages of developing this character, because coming up with this kind of characters is not easy. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of iterations if you really care about what you're creating. And when we came to this character, finally came up with this character, I was like, this is so unique. It has so much character. And the one thing I pay attention to when it comes to PFPs, it has to have personality to it. Doesn't matter if it's an animal, if it's a human, if it's there's a lot of human PFP based projects that have nothing human about them. There's no way you can connect with those characters. PFP like characters, you need to be really be careful about like the eyes, the mouth, the expressions, the look, the colors. Everything makes a difference, and we have paid attention to all of that. The name, even the name of the project, we spent a long time coming up with. And I'll talk later. I'll talk a little bit about the artist too. We have, who is just amazing, brilliant guy. That really brought these characters to life. I'm really happy about. Yeah. Once we had the characters down, and we just felt so confident that this is going to be something special, then I started planning for everything else that we have seen so far. To me, that's probably the easiest part. The hard part is to get the magic of the characters, which is impossible to get a lot of times. But things are going great. Community is great. Art is great. We're building on Hedera, so that technology is great. We got everything aligned to be able to build a successful project and a business, honestly, because this is not just a collectible project. We're going to develop books and toys and kids clothing. It's a kids brand, so we're going to heavily focus on marketing to kids and Web 2. That is going to be the main focus after launch, which then is going to elevate the brand, bring more users and customers to the brand and the business. And that eventually is going to benefit the overall NFT NFT community as well.
And how does this? I love. I know we talked about it between us the other day, but the origin of Peculiar Peeps. Why peculiar? Why peeps? Like what? Tell us the how this all started.
Yeah. It's funny. I had the idea that these characters need to be kind of strange and weird and interesting, not normal, but I wasn't sure about the actual story associated with this character, where the origin is. The actual story was formed through the conversations with the artist himself, who is just very talented and passionate about this kind of stuff, not just creating art, but making sure that the art has meaning and story behind all of these characters. And when I approached him with the ideas, he gave a really interesting spin to these characters that it's still going to be, and that's where the name Peculiar comes from. There's a backstory, there's an origin about these characters that we're not going to reveal for a while, and we're going to leave things mystical and suspenseful. But when that news drops, people are going to be really surprised and excited for everything else that it will allow. These are multidimensional characters. We can do a lot of different things with these characters because of that backstory, and we can explore all kinds of different interesting stories and exciting things with these characters. So I cannot say exactly. I cannot reveal the origin, but I can tell the community there is a mystical story that we haven't revealed yet, and that's going to be revealed in the future. Also through that 1K drop that we have left in the future. That 1K drop in itself will reveal the origin through some of the traits in that collection.
Talking of this 1K drop, the collection itself in total is a 10K collection, right? And I know there's been questions around why, not just why such a big collection, because we know other collections on the network are going to end up being 10K. You know, we have Dead Pixels, we have the CYs, and they've kind of implemented a batch minting kind of approach, whereas you're going to go 8,500, right, for this first drop, and people are like, why? So I want to ask you that question, because I know the community has that question, and it's been talked about on X, but I'd love to hear it from you.
Honestly, I'm not surprised from all the comments, and I understand where these comments are coming from. But the problem I see with multiple drops, first, there's multiple things to talk about here. The problem about multiple drops is that it turns the project into anticipating for the next drop. So the responsibility of the team members to build things with this project falls sideways, and they just focus on the next drop and next drop and next drop, and that's what's generating excitement and interest in the project, when the main focus of the project shouldn't be this drop, that drop, that drop. It should be, you did the drop of your collection, you did the fundraiser, and now you go and start building real world products and applications and whatever your plan or vision is to build. Otherwise, you're just going to focus on, okay, when is the next drop, what the number of the drop should be, it just becomes irrelevant for the project. And I mean, people have different approaches to how they build their products and projects, but multiple drops, I haven't seen those projects evolve really to a place where now they're turning into a Web2 brand and starting to attract a general user base outside of just Web3. Peculiar Peeps is not just a collectible project. This is a Web3/Web2 IP and a brand, and it's mainly going to focus on kids and their parents. And our goal is, through this launch, to then refocus on developing actual physical products that are known to people, that are familiar to people, and people are going to benefit from them. Create really heartfelt stories and books that people are going to buy for their kids, and it's going to convey beautiful messages to their kids. We have thought about all of this. So me focusing on drops doesn't seem like the right approach, or size of the drops, or technical things like that doesn't seem like the right approach. I understand that people might say Hedera is small, that drop is too big and it's not going to mint out, and this and that. But there's always plan Bs and plan Cs. I have planned everything. I know in what case I'm going to do what. So nothing is going to stop me from this big drop. Another thing is just perspective in general. 8.5K NFTs, is that a big drop or is that a really tiny drop? So that depends on your perspective on things, right? If you're just targeting Hedera ecosystem, that's a tiny drop. That's a big drop. But if your goal is to become a Web 2, Web 3 broader brand that appeals to millions of people and millions of users, which is our goal, 10K collection is tiny to me. I can envision we're building a whole world around this character. So in the future, it's not just going to be Peculiar Peeps. You need other characters for this character to interact with, to be able to create those stories and tell those stories. So again, perspective is another thing that some people have certain perspectives locked into certain ecosystems or echo chambers. You need to get out of that and really explore things that haven't been done before. And only when people come around and do things that haven't been done before, then everybody else says, "Hey, why don't you drop a 10K now?" We saw Hashpack just smash their launch. Until that, nobody ever thought Hedera would be able to do an INO for $2 million. And Hashpack just broke records. And it honestly, they could have done way better than what they did. They wouldn't have had problems selling out if they did 2 times more, 3 times more. But it just shows you, on one hand, some people say Hedera community is small and tiny and there is no liquidity. On the other hand, you see projects like Hashpack deliver a really good products, really strong products that benefit the ecosystem and bring value to everybody, and they sell out like crazy. So the question is not really ecosystem is small, community is small, all these negative things. The question is, do you have a product that people are interested in? That's the biggest question. And when you approach it that way, you put the responsibility on yourself. I need to build a product that that appeals to the masses and people are interested in investing in it, rather than just blaming the community and the size of the community and other things that are irrelevant to your project. Those are just irrelevant. You're putting the responsibility of your project on somebody else and saying, "Hey, I didn't mint out, therefore this and that. It's not my fault; it's their fault." I don't play games like that. I have a vision, and it's a big vision. I know it's a big vision, and we're going to execute on that vision, no matter how things go. Again, plan A, plan B, plan C. I have everything planned out and laid out in what case what needs to happen to be able to push the project forward. And that's what I have also done with Citadel Wallet. When Citadel Wallet launched, it didn't mint out all of the nights in the collection, but that didn't stop us. Now we're in a position where in the summer, we're already going to deliver this hardware wallets to market. If people were, if my intentions were just to raise money and disappear, none of it would happen, right? I would call off the mint. I would say, "Oh, we failed, didn't mint out, this and that." I would find all the excuses. There are so many excuses when you are looking for excuses. But yeah, I'm here to stay. These are long-term goals and projects. I can't wait to get the Citadel wallet out to market, and I try not to get distracted by things that don't matter. I know what I'm building, and a lot of the community members can see clearly what we're building here. This is a project of quality and skill that is compatible to not only Web3 brands, but really big Web2 brands as well. So people who see the vision, they will support it, and that's what's going to matter in the long term. And people who don't see it yet, I do hope that they really see the vision as we develop and evolve the project, because we have, whenever I do things, I have planned 10 things already before announcing one thing. We have a lot of things in the pipeline, and over time, people will start seeing the value in this project and what we're going for. So I'm not really worried about those comments or what happens if this happens, what happens if that happens. As an entrepreneur, you should be ready for anything, and you should have a plan for anything. Without challenges, it wouldn't be that fun, to be honest.
It's part of the game. So
It is.
I understand as well that there's a peculiar relationship between Citadel and the Peeps as well, right? There's some kind of collision there between the two. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. These two projects go hand in hand. Hardware wallet is, you're going to store your NFTs in the hardware wallet. So there's so many very creative and interesting things we can do. I can also envision the repurposed version of the hardware wallet for kids to store their fun, collectible NFTs. Because as the industry grows and evolves, NFTs are not just going to be for speculative value. Kids are collecting cards every day and trading and doing fun things between each other. We could have a product, Citadel Wallet, branded for kids, and they could have fun collecting their collectible NFTs associated with different games or projects or anything like that. So we can have a lot of fun with Citadel Wallet, which is just the beginning. And that's where the partnership comes, right? Citadel Wallet is going to be the preferred hardware wallet for Peculiar Peeps. And in the future, we're going to do really fun things like you order your hardware wallet and it comes, and randomly there's packages that have a QR code in it. You scan it and you claim your Peculiar Peep. Like bringing creative and interesting ways to promote both projects, but also bring value to the users who are investing in the product and trusting your brand and buying your hardware wallet. But there is one more thing. Again, I wish we just didn't have time. I wish I had announced that already. There's one product that's coming out that's going to be really fun for people. And some people in the community had asked for it when I was just starting out development of the hardware wallet. But it's going to make a lot of sense to people, but it looks amazing. It's going to bring that extra level of fun to the hardware wallet, because one of the things I always wanted to achieve with something like Citadel Wallet, if you just look at it as an simple electronic device, it's that project is going to be doomed, because nobody cares just the electronic device. There's something else that humans naturally care about. It's how personal it is, how great it looks, how it feels. And there is no better and more personal device than a hardware wallet itself. Like I mentioned before, you're going to store all of your assets in there, NFTs, crypto investments, real world tokenized assets. It's going to be so personal. And if it looks like a USB stick, I mean, how can you even trust that device, or how can you personally connect with that device? So I wanted to do things that are going to elevate the experience of the hardware wallet, first starting with developing a really premium, high quality device that looks amazing, feels amazing, easy to use, and then additionally start to add products that are going to elevate that experience, bring new ways to personalize your device and make it look like this is mine. So that product that's coming out is going to help personalize your device even further. And from that product, we can have so much fun collaborating with other projects in the ecosystem, help promote their projects as well, including Kabila. So yeah, there's a lot of synergies between these two projects, and they go hand in hand. And once one project success is going to benefit the other project success, and that's why I really love these two projects, working on these two projects, because they don't really hurt each other.
I have another question that I think maybe, like, switching back to the peeps, and holding one of these peeps. If I'm a community member, I'm like, well, I don't like books. I don't want kids. Maybe I don't have kids, or I'm not interested in those products. But then you have what you call the IP lending, right? I think it'd be super interesting to get into that side of things, because there's a relationship between those who hold the NFTs and the products beyond the products, right?
Yeah. That's a great question. So the NFTs projects like this, like, of course, no investment advice, no financial advice, none of that here. We're just having a conversation. Whenever you buy these NFTs and buy into the vision of these projects, you're kind of investing in a business in a way, because if the vision of the project is to develop products and services and applications that are going to be used by millions of users, that's what you're buying into. You're not just buying into the collectible art. And as an investor, you don't necessarily have to like the product, right? You don't necessarily have to buy the product yourself or use it yourself, but you just need to understand this market has a large potential. and there is so many possibilities and opportunities in this market, and you just want to enter that market. So through this collection, kids market is underrated, and it's a huge, massive market that I have been paying attention to for a long time. And I always love buying toys for my brother's kid and other relatives' kids, and I always paid attention to what kind of toys are out there, what kind of variety is out there for kids. And trust me, there is not that many. There is like few really popular IPs and brands that they just sell their toys like crazy, but there's nothing new in the market that kids can get excited about. And that's a gap that can be filled with this project, and that's what I'm really excited about. In terms of IP, the beauty of Web3 and decentralization is that IP can be shared among all of the people who bought those NFTs are now part of the project. In a way, they own the IP. But I have seen other projects do this, but lay the responsibility on people themselves in the community, saying, "Hey, you have the IP, go do something with it." Uh, it shouldn't really be that way. You're the project, you're building this IP and brand and the products. You need to make sure that you keep delivering great quality products that people actually love and use, and that's going to help elevate the brand. And people can just lend their IP back to your project and allow you to use their characters in your books and toys and whatever else you're building. So I put the main responsibility on the project itself. We're going to build everything. We're not going to wait for anybody to build anything with our IP, and we're going to make sure that the community benefits from it by uh, contributing to the project through their own ways. But also, if they don't have experience in this industry, they don't know what they're doing. They just hold the NFT. They have no entrepreneurial business experience. They can just lend the IP back to us, and we'll use it in our products, and they will earn royalties from it. So they don't need to do much in that sense.
Nice. Yeah, it reminds me of Pudgy Penguins, right, on Ethereum, and how Luca Nets took
Yeah.
over and kind of developed in a way this, or led the way. Did you take some inspiration from what he did with Pudgies and the IP, like the products that he started developing?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of the rare examples in Web3 that they're actually doing things the right way. They're focusing on developing a product, developing brand partnerships and relationships with traditional companies and businesses, and get their brands out there. And now all their toys are being sold in some of the biggest uh, supermarkets in the world. And people are starting to pay attention. What is this toy? And that eventually leads back to the project and benefits the project and all of the holders of the NFTs. So yeah, Pudgy Penguins was definitely one of those, and Claynosaurus is another project I'm fascinated by.
Yeah.
How high quality, almost like Pixar, Disney level quality characters, 3D characters they have built, and I can only imagine what they have in store for those characters in the future. You could make movies, and movie industry is one of the biggest industry, entertainment industries in the world. You make a movie through the support of the community, raise funds, make a movie, and then that trickles back down. All the value that you generate trickles back down to the holders eventually. Movies
It's
also allow to uh, merchandise the product, turn it into toys and all. There's so many creative things that you can do, but Pudgy Penguins, Claynosaurus, definitely they're on the right path. There's some things that Pudgy Penguins is doing that I'm not a big fan of. I think it's a waste of money in the short term. In the future, they might have gotten away with it, like building a metaverse and game and things like gaming industry is really harsh. Anytime you try to enter the gaming industry, you need to be really careful because it will crush you really quickly if you don't get it right. And it so many gaming companies have gone under, not because of not having enough funds, but because they just didn't get it what will, and you never know what game will be popular. So it's a risky move on Podgy Penguin's side to move into the metaverse and gaming rather than focusing on building actual products and maybe even animation that kids will love. But to each their own. I wish them good luck. We'll try to do things a little differently, but definitely there's inspiration from that project for sure.
Yeah, I think I want to ask you if there's anything that we haven't touched on, because I'm very excited. I mean, I just imagine myself watching an animation, right, of Peculiar Peeps in a couple of years, and my character's in it, and I'm sitting there knowing that I contributed to it and I actually own that character. Like this is the beauty of Web3, right? Like it's kind of like the relationship between the creator of this animation series and the community is just so much tighter. So it's just there's an intimacy that we've never experienced as the in these industries, right?
Absolutely. That's where the beauty of Web3 comes, and that's why I'm really excited about this project. If we went the traditional route with something like this, anything new in the entertainment industry, if you're trying to break in, it's almost impossible. You have to have connections, you have to know people in the industry, and even then you have to be able to raise funds and make pilots, animation pilots, let's say, if you're turning it into a show, or if you want to turn it into a movie, that's even more impossible because you need $50-100 million to make a movie out of those characters. The beauty of Web3 is you can come up with the characters, and over time with the community, growing the community, start building the story of these characters and get this character really loved and beloved by the community and expand that community over time. And at some point, it's going to start to attract the attention as a proven brand and proven character that people love. And that this is an approach that is the opposite of what the traditional Hollywood and animation industries have done. They go the risky route. They're like, we have no idea if people are going to love this character we came up with. A creator comes up with something, they really passionate about it, but it hasn't been proven. Nobody knows when it hits the market, people will love these characters or not, or the story. So it's a really brutal industry, the animation, entertainment, movies. They spend years and years of developing these characters and stories, turning it into animations and movies. And then when they launch, they have no idea what's going to happen, right? They have some idea based on their feelings and experience and research and this and that, but nobody has ever seen these characters. When Star Wars coming out, nobody knew it's going to turn into this big phenomenon throughout the world. But there were other movies similar to Star Wars when they were coming out. They were confident they are going to turn into that kind of a name, and they completely flopped. So it's a really brutal and risky business, and Web3 kind of switches that up. You start small, you create those characters, you start developing them, evolving them over time, building, creating stories, books, which take less money to do. And then over time, as it starts gaining momentum and traction and becomes really popular in your market, whatever you're targeting, then you can go and approach these big studios and say, hey, I already have a character that people love and can't wait to see a movie or animation about it. So it completely flips the model upside down, where now small creators don't have to, and really talented creators who might not have a chance to build anything like this, now have a chance to bring their vision to the community first, start small, starts developing and proving the concept, and then there's so many opportunities that can come after that. It's really in the hands of the entrepreneur and the creator to be able to bring all of those to reality. Peculiar Peeps, I can see it. I believe this is that kind of a character, and I have not many people know I'm a huge, massive fan of movies and animations, and not just like watching it for entertainment purposes. I really dive deep into the character building, the story, how they structured the story, how they evolved these characters throughout the story. I pay a lot, even before Web3. That was one of my passions before Web3. I was actually even thinking of getting into movies and animations industries, because how much I love and how much attention I paid to those kinds of things. But now with Web3 and NFTs, I'm like, this is the perfect way and the most beautiful way to make this happen, and bring value to everybody that has been there right from day one and believed in your project. But also there's an opportunity to turn this a small idea, a grassroots idea, into a huge IP and a brand that's going to be loved by kids and their parents and benefit everybody else. So I'm super excited, super stoked.
Yeah, I can feel it, and it reminds me a little bit of the wave we saw in Web 2, maybe in the early in the 2000s, with these platforms like YouTube and social media in general, that gave creators a platform to reach the world. But
Yep.
in that case, like it made brands that we know today and famous musicians and artists that we know today, but it didn't necessarily benefit the viewer, right, or the follower. Whereas
Yep.
now
Yep.
everyone's in the
Yep.
same boat, so it's a new wave, and it's just, yeah. I mean, it excites me so much.
No,
Just
that's a great, yeah, that's a great example. That's a great example. A lot of creators came up through YouTube and all the social media platforms that they would never be able to do it. And we have seen examples of people gaining so many followers and becoming so popular. Then they get approached by movie studios and shows that they now go into acting or do things that they actually wanted to do. Uh, that Web 2 definitely flipped that model, but like you said, it didn't bring in the community who were
mhm.
there supporting them right from day one, with them following them, supporting them. That's what helped them to blow up. That early supporter base had no way of benefiting somehow from it. With Web3, it's that missing piece that it's bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And I think if done the right way, and I hope other projects do it the right way too, very soon we'll start seeing those really big, worldwide known, popular brands that are Web3 brands, but we don't have to talk about Web3. It's not really, it's just the way we do things now, and
Yeah.
everybody is on board and everybody knows how things are done. So we don't have to divide between Web3, Web2, this and that. There's long ways to get there, but I think projects like Peculiar Peeps and Pudgy Penguins and Planosaurs and similar projects are on the right track, and everybody's going to contribute their own way to make that kind of the future possible. It's definitely coming.
Yeah, V Friends comes to mind as well. Gary V's been on that train
Yeah.
for a long time, right? So yeah, I think every one of these projects is contributing to this new wave, and it's just gonna, it's gonna be a peep wave. It's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So,
Absolutely,
I've been
absolutely.
using that word so often the last week. It's just peep-tastic, peep-tacular, peep wave, all the peeps everywhere.
It's a new language.
New language. Well, you've got the Peep script. You want to touch on that briefly, because that was a really cool idea, and it's just a small detail of what people can expect or look forward to, right? These little
Yeah, yeah.
gems, these little surprise and delights.
I know that came out of nowhere. The Mark, who I have to talk about Mark in a little bit. I do want to make sure I mention him and talk about him a little bit because he's so talented. But when we launched the Discord and we started bringing in the community, everybody was just so excited and passionate about the project, especially when we were doing the mystery campaign, when nobody knows what's going on, only this group of people know. Mark was just so passionate and excited about the project and kept creating stuff for the project, even though we weren't expecting it from him. He had created the amazing art already, Peculiar Peeps, and had created a lot of great promo content. And he just got so inspired by the community. And right now, he's the biggest Hedera supporter and Hedera believer because of the community. He saw how passionate everybody is. He started creating this words and phrases with his unique art. And at some point, we're like, hey, could you possibly create the rest of the letters in the alphabet? So we just give it to people and allow them to create content for get really creative and create content for themselves too. Also, they're going to feel like they're part of the community. He did it. He created this the font. Eventually, we'll try to turn it into an actual font where you can type it on your computer. But now all of the letters exist as PNGs. We share the links with the community. We ran a font campaign where people who create words and phrases with those fonts will get a whitelist in the mint, and also get the NFT of the pip script, which is the font itself. It added extra work on me. And during this time, that when there is so much going on, Citadel Wallet and the Peculiar Peeps preparations and launch, but I was like, I'm going to do it. This is too good not to do it. I'm going to spend the extra time, sleep less, but I'm going to make sure that we get it out to people. We did it. People loved it. Now we airdrop the NFT versions, which includes the link to the cloud that has all of the PNGs of the fonts. That was kind of a creative way to approach it, to be able to give access people to all of the font, which is public. Anybody can download it. But having that link built into the NFT, it's always there. You can you won't forget it. You will always have a way to access it. And then another collection so Mark, because of how passionate he is, he also started creating like art inspired by pips, and he was dropping on his Twitter account. And then one day I was like, hey, you should think about creating your own collection on Hedera. People, your style is amazing. People love your art. I think people would love to have a collection from Mark. And he came up with the idea of creating peep inspired art to start with, which is just going to be airdrops to the VIP holders. So it's not even sold to anybody or anywhere. Over time, if he gets inspired, create something unique that's inspired by the Peep collection, or he sees something in the community, gets really excited and motivated, he can create a unique piece of art, and we just airdrop it to the community as a thanks to being so amazing and engaged. But Mark is so talented, so down to earth. His art is just another level. I'm the biggest fan by now, and especially having talked to him and interacted with him, he's just a beautiful human being. I'm really happy that he's on, and you can feel it from his colors, right? From his art, from colors, you can sense that personality breaking out of him through his art, through the creation. Yeah, very vibrant, very colorful, positive, energetic, a lot of personality and characters that he puts into these creations. Just an amazing guy. I'm really happy that he's in our ecosystem, creating in our ecosystem, really passionate about the project, and a new community member that he didn't even know about Hedera when I approached him. He had no idea what Hedera is. He was into NFTs a little bit, but other chains, the popular chains, and now he's the biggest supporter of Hedera. So I wish more creators, and visionaries come on board Hedera very soon. This is a really major step for me personally, and I can really imagine what comes next. Some of the things we have planned in the future for Peeps, it's just going to be another level. Exciting stuff.
I'm definitely excited for the Peep journey. Excited to get my Citadel wallet as well. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you'd love to touch on before we wrap this up? It's been such a pleasure talking with you and diving into all of these amazing things.
Pleasure as well, man. Likewise. I enjoy talking to you. Last time we had a 30-minute conversation and turned into a 2-hour conversation. It's always fun to talk to community members. One last thing I would mention regarding the IP. When I say the IP is owned by the community, this and that, it might not mean much, right? When you're just starting out, you're a new project, people might say, you're just saying you own the IP, who cares? It's not going to bring any value. You're just saying it to attach an extra utility to your project, make it a little more meaningful. And I completely get that. If you're just swinging ideas to see what sticks, it's not really going to bring any value to anybody. So instead of just saying that you own the IP, we're going to show that you own the IP. So we are coming up with unique characters, and one of them we just revealed recently, Peculiar Punch, in collaboration with Karate Combat. I'm really happy they were on board with this. They loved the project, they loved the characters, and we came up with this idea that why don't we create a character with a unique traits and give it a name, and it has its own account and it's run by a community member. One of the community members, Rebel MB, is the name on Twitter's Rebel MB. He's just a passionate young guy who's really excited about the project, and I want him to contribute to the project in his own unique way. And he's going to run this account, and it's going to focus not just Peculiar Peeps. This is a character. He's going to develop an IP with this character. It's going to be focused more on karate combat. It's going to promote karate combat, create fun, engaging visuals and content related to karate combat, and expand the user base for Peculiar Peeps to karate ecosystem. Every After a while, once that character gets recognized by that ecosystem, is going to attract more people back to the Peculiar Peeps brand. And as that character itself becomes really popular, he can himself turn into a profitable a profitable product or a character, right? It's an IP that he personally owns, and it's really popular, and might show up in ads, might show up in promotions and other places, and events and engagements. You can do so many different things. And because he owns the IP for that character, people need to pay him for getting him to do something somewhere. So that's going to be one of the examples how you can take this IP of the popular brand and turn it into, really own it first of all, and it's going to be an example to everybody else in the community. And we have few of those types of characters coming. We're not going to stop just at one. We have few different ideas, and hopefully after that, after the mint, when people get the peeps on their hands, they're like, this character, let's say it's a chef, we have a character that has a chef hat. You could take it and turn it into in the cooking industry, do something really fun with this character, turn it into something really big. It really comes down to people's creativeness, how creative they get, how far they want to push this. But there will be few that are going to be really big. And one great example is Peculiar Punch. I'm really excited to see how far we push this character in the ecosystem of Peculiar Peeps.
I'm sure I've seen another one around on Twitter, on X. Sorry, is there another peculiar character?
There is a few. Yeah. There's like Peculiar Peacher. There is Peep Junior. There's small ones here and there, but we haven't explored in as much detail as the Peculiar Punch one. We're really on a daily basis really talking about this and thinking where we can push this character and how we can turn it into its own thing that's being recognized for as its own thing, not just part of the Peculiar Peeps. That's the goal with that character. But yeah, you will see other characters popping up here and there as one example or two examples that we really work on carefully. Starts to show results. I think other community members are going to follow it.
Love it. Well, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm very excited for you, for the community and the journey ahead, and I'm sure when this goes out to the community, they're really going to enjoy this conversation. So appreciate you for taking the time, man.
I hope so too, man. I really enjoyed this conversation. You brought up a lot of great points, a lot of great questions. I hope people get value from it. And our mint is on April 20th, this Saturday on Kabila platform. One thing we didn't talk about is Kabila platform. And let me tell you, I don't know, do you have to finish, or I can say a few
No,
things
we're good.
about
We're good.
Kabila?
We're good. We're good.
Okay, good. Let me tell you a few things about Kabila. You might not know. The platform you guys have built is just amazing. I mean, it's mind blowing how many tools have been packed into this platform for creators having creators in mind. I remember when Hedera was just starting to have the NFT platforms and NFT launchpads. It was all controlled by the owners of those launchpads. You have to go talk to them and tell them what you want to do, and they have full control if they want to launch your project or not. They take all of your assets, they mint it, they launch it, they do all of that stuff. What Kabila has built is completely revolutionizing, changing this game, really bringing the tools to the creator. And that's what Web3 is about, right? Creator needs to be able to be in control of their fate, be in control of what they're building. When I use Kabila, I feel like a superhero. I can do anything Web3 on Kabila platform. I can mint NFTs. I can create NFTs. I can airdrop them. I can scan the network and see who holds what NFTs, create rules. I can have, the whole Peculiar Peeps collection was generated on this platform. You have all of the layers, all of the traits, and randomly generates all of the art for you and submits to IPFS network for creating your metadata. I mean, this is not simple stuff, and turning it into an enjoyable process that is 1-2 clicks. IPFS, tell people how they need to submit things to IPFS and get metadata. It for somebody who is non-technical, it's almost impossible. When you bring it back to as simple as just click submit, put the art, put the description, click submit, and through your wallet you approve it and it's good to go. It creates the metadata for you. It's just amazing. I've enjoyed using the platform. I'm mind blown that something like this exists. I can't believe that it exists. I don't think any other layer one has anything like this built onto their platform. Usually it's just safe. It's just guarded. You need to approach the project, the platforms, talk to them, convince them about your project is good or bad. Use different tools to generate the art. Use different tools to create the metadata. It's just a mess. One platform, you can do everything on this platform and really bring value to your community. After all, when a good example is PipScript. When the idea came, within like a few days, we were ready to art was ready. We were ready to mint the NFTs and do the snapshot and airdrop it to the community within a few days for a fraction of a cost. I mean, how much more value a platform can bring to the creator. So I'm really thankful for that Kabila exists. Shout out to Manu and Adrian. Manu is an OG. H Barbarian has been here for a long time. I'm so happy he has built this platform with his team. And now you're also part of the team, which is doing amazing things and has even bigger plans. Talk about thinking big and not being stuck in small bubbles and thinking things are not possible. You guys think bigger than Hedera, bigger than Web3. And that's how I think as well about everything I do. And I just couldn't be happier to be doing this on Kabila platform. And many people will hear a lot more about what you guys have built very soon. Hopefully not just in Hedera ecosystem, but just outside in Web3 and Web2 very soon as well. For any creators trying to enter this space, it's really critical to have tools like this available to make it seamless to onboard. Yeah, congrats to you guys. Just amazing stuff. I'm mind blown every day by using this platform. It just made my life so much easier.
Well, that's music to my ears, and I'm sure to the team's ears as well. Like, shout out, you mentioned Manu, Adrian, but there's a number of other
So many
devs, and
others. Yep.
so
Yep.
we've got a team that's behind the scenes. My face is out here, but like all the credit to the team right behind the scenes, grinding away, providing
Yep.
these tools that are making your life easier as a creator. Like, it's all about that. It's all about empowering the creator and that
Yep.
permissionlessness, right? Not having to ask permission
Yep.
to
Yep.
use tools that are so powerful and leverage Web3. So yeah, just appreciate those
Exactly.
words there, for sure.
Exactly. You're not just saying we're Web3, you're actually Web3. A lot of projects will say we're Web3, we're doing things the Web3 way, but they're the same Web2 project, just disguising as a Web3 project. You guys actually bring all of those tools, make it available to the creators. And I personally really appreciate that. And I know so many community members are really appreciative of what you guys have built. It's just going to grow bigger and bigger. I have no doubts.
Well, I can't wait to see the peeps take off from the launch pad. Bring on that peep wave. Again, it's been a pleasure, Andy.
Almost there.
Thanks again.
Pleasure, man. Yeah, great talking to you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
All the best on these ventures, these big dreams and big visions.
Thank you. Thanks, Jack. Thanks a lot.